Dino, it's been said many, many times that results don't really matter in pre-season, but do they really to a player?
Yeah, look, I mean, we never go out on the pitch thinking, oh, today's, a dead ring and we're not too bothered about the result. That's never the case. You always want to win. You want to get in good habits, especially, building on into the beginning of the season. So, especially in the first game that myself and some of the guys were involved in, we set ourselves a goal at the beginning of the game and said, look, we've got to treat this like we would any league game. Let's get into good habits, make sure we do the right things in the right times. And I think that was evident in the game. Yeah.
The difficult thing is, of course, that you've always got trialists even at this stage of the pre-season. So it becomes very disjointed, and it's difficult for the people who are going to be here regularly through the season to actually pick up with players who are not going to be probably here again.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 of the one and half a dozen of the other, because the manager's got to see new players. And he's got to see them integrated in between his sort of players that are signed for the club. So it is a bit of a tricky balancing act that you've got to do, but one that as players, I've been on trial myself, and you've also got to understand that these guys are looking for clubs. We need the club to get strengthened. So at the same time, one of them could become one of our teammates. So it's one of those things where it has to be done in pre-season.
How close do you think you are to the final squad? You had a lot from last season who've re-signed, or the options have been taken, but you've probably got a couple of places still free, have you?
I think so, yeah. I think that's definitely more an answer for Josh, really. But we have carried over a lot of the core squad, which has been great, compared to the beginning of last season where we lost majority of the core squad. So already I feel like we're a few steps ahead than we were this time last season, which is great. But there are still a couple of spots that we need some gaps to be filled and strengthening in places. But management's well aware of that, yeah.
Yeah, your defence seems okay, doesn't it? You must be happy with the players who are there available to play in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. We've kept our core group of defenders, which has been great. And we're a group that know each other well now. We know well knitted. We sort of know our strengths and weaknesses and play towards that, really.
So 2 weeks away from the season proper, you've looked at the fixture list. What do you think about the fixtures that are going on? Your opening few games. Yeah,
it's pretty busy. August is a busy month. September's a busy month, but it's fairly expected. And we're here to play games. It's what we enjoy most. And how the fixtures lies doesn't really bother us, to be fair. We're there to take every game as it is, and every game is a 3-pointer really for us.
I have to say, you just had a birthday, a belated happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
And of course, you're quite the elder statesman of the squad now, aren't you? How does it feel being the father figure to some of these players?
Oh, I definitely don't see myself like that, but happy to take on that role when and need be. But yeah, no, good birthday. Happy to be a senior player in the squad and help the youngsters around. I know what it was like when I was in my early 20s and I had some of the senior guys help me out and how much that meant to me. So whenever and wherever I can, I do try and shed a bit of advice or a helping hand here and there. So yeah.
One thing that always interests me is you did a lot of your early stuff back in your native South Africa.
Yes.
How does South African football compare to football that you come across here?
Yeah, it's very different in a sense of, we play majority of the season in the summer, so the temperature's always sky high, which is not always conducive to maybe a type of football that you might get here that we might play. But it's a very different style in terms of, like, I feel like the English game is a lot quicker, especially when I was still involved in league football. But there's strengths and weaknesses on either side. But it's great to have both of the experiences. It's been something that I've got a feather in my cap for that, and will cherish going on to sort of my older age.
Not quite old age just yet, of course. Yeah. The one thing that I remember about South Africa was the dreaded vuvuzela. It should be banned from football.
It didn't get a lot of good comms when the World Cup came about, but it was something that to us it's like if you go to a game in South Africa and you didn't hear it, it was a little bit odd. So for me it was something I was quite used to, and obviously for the rest of the world it was something that it sounded like there was a bee buzzing around the microphone during the game.
Permanently,
So, well, yeah, it is what it is. It's remembered for for the World Cup in 2010. So
you had a really good close season though, didn't you? Because you went back to South Africa for an extended holiday. Is that right?
Yeah. So we got to see family. And we've recently had a son of our own, my wife and I. So our grandparents got to meet their grandson and spend some much needed family time.
But you had to keep fit.
Of course, yeah.
He says with a smile on his face.
Yeah, you've always got that in the back of your mind. So yeah, you're always ticking over.
Ambitions for this season for the team?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think if you look at our latter part of last season, in terms of the form, we did really well, and we'll have every ambition to finish as high as we possibly can, and be in and around sort of, that playoff area for sure. We're a group of guys that want to succeed, and we've got a manager that wants to succeed, so most definitely.
And have you kept the captaincy for this year?
That's not my decision to be made, so I'm not too sure about that, to be honest.
Did you enjoy your time as captain last year?
Yeah, loved it. Yeah, wore the armband with pride. So.
Well, we'll have to see until what Josh decides, shan't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Dino, thanks ever so much for your time. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you, guys.